Okay, gear lube change. We've done our water pump and color, we've changed our engine oil. Now we're going to give it a quick gear lube change. Pretty simple, there's 2 plugs on these. Let's see if we can get that camera out. There is one drain plug here. This is our top, that's our oil level. And then the bottom one is there. That's where the oil's going to drain out of. So we'll just put the camera back up here. So, and I'm just going to tilt her. Stand a little bit. It's just so that that forward plug is pointed down a little bit. Using a great big screwdriver that fits really nice in the slot. I actually sharpened it specifically for drain plug screws. I put a little wrench on there because they're pretty tight. Just use the compressor. Lift the drain tub up because sometimes if it's coming from the cold, it warms up in the shop and it'll be pressurized and blow out of there sometimes. This time we're pretty good. Making sure I got my drain plug gasket on there too. And we'll take the top one out so it vents. Got good flow. No water in there, nice and clean. A magnet. There we go. Got a magnet. There's a little bit of dust on there, but that's actually very clean. So he's been shifting very nicely. Shifting very nicely. What do you mean by that? These lower units and outboards have dog teeth. Kind of like splines that engage. So when it's in neutral, they're spinning, one's spinning on the engine and one's stationary. And when you put it in gear, you have to engage them like this. With an outboard, you want to engage it really quickly so that they go clunk into gear. If you're cautious and careful and nervous about changing your gears, and you're moving your lever really slowly, what's happening is this one that's going around is you'll hear the rattle. It's a clunk before it goes in. And all that's doing is wearing the tops off of your teeth. Eventually it'll round them off so that it won't even stay locked in gear. And you get a lot, as a result, you get a lot of metal on your magnet. So I can tell if a customer knows how to change the gears by how much metal's on the magnet. And this one's good, so that's all there is to it. So I'm just going to let that drain for a couple of minutes, and then we'll pump some new gear lube in. Turn that off. Okay, gear lube's all drained. We're going to pump the fresh gear lube in. You're going to need a, let's get the reflection off of that, lower unit pump to pump your gear lube in. You pump the gear lube in from the bottom, so that the level rises up until it comes out of the top. If you try and fill it from the top, you'll end up with air pockets in there that will run your bearings dry and blow up your bottom end. Simple as that. So pump your gear lube in from the bottom using a lower unit pump like this. They're available on Canada Wide Marine. I'll put the link in the video description at the bottom there. And so they come with an adapter for the Yamahas and for the Mercs. So they'll cover pretty much everything. This adapter we've got screwed in there is one I made about 100 years ago and still used today. We use Merc High Performance or Quicksilver High Performance gear lube for pretty much everything we work on here, other than a few makes and models. It's proven to be very reliable. It handles water getting into it really well. Great corrosion inhibitors if you're getting water in your bottom end. So, put your hose on and pump away. Takes a couple of minutes to pump it in. You don't want to pump it in too quick because you want the level to come up nice and even, and you don't want any air bubbles in there. So the pump, the gear lube, everything you need is all available from Canada Wide Marine. If you're not sure what you need, give us a call or send us a message. Put a comment in down below there, and we'll help you out. More than happy to. Whole reason I'm doing these videos is to help people do this stuff on their own. We get customers coming in all summer looking for advice and tips and how to do this and how to do that. So that's what the videos here are all about, is same advice you'd get as if you walked in my door and said, Jim, what do I need to change the gear lube in the bottom of my Yamaha here? I'd say, well, we just happen to have a Yamaha right here. This is what we're doing. We work on all of them. We work on Mercs and Evinrudes, Johnsons, Tohatsus, Suzukis. Most of our customers are using Yamahas these days. I really like the Yamaha myself. I think they're a great motor. Very reliable, the new ones. Gear lube should be changed once a season or every 100 hours. They say every 50 hours for saltwater use. And I think that would be quite realistic. For pleasure boaters in our area here on the West Coast, very few of our customers will do 50 hours in a year on their boats. A couple of them did 60 and 70 last year, but they were very heavy boat users. Most of them much lower. This fella, 12 hours. This fella has several boats, so if we added them all up, they'd probably be more like 40. So we're just starting to get some oil dribbling out our oil level hole there. So we'll let it settle for a moment, let any last air bubbles work their way out. The other very important thing when you're changing your gear lube is to make sure you have new drain plug gaskets. That's what they look like there. For the Yamahas, they're a little fiber gasket. Replace them every single time you change your gear lube. If you reuse them, they will split and crack, and you'll get water into your lower unit and lose your gear lube. So now when I give it a gentle pump, the gear lube comes straight out. That tells me that this gear case is full. There's no air bubbles in there whatsoever. Put our top plug back in. Just like that. And let's just tilt you up a bit there. There we go. Take the hose off the bottom. Unscrew the fitting. Now with the plug in the top, there's nowhere for the air to get in, so when I take the fitting off the bottom, we don't lose much oil. And we can put the drain plug in the bottom. Just like that. Tighten that up. And just like taking it apart, I use the wrench because I've usually got gear lube all over my hands by now, and it's pretty slippery. Snug them up, and that's that. Gear lube is changed. Get a rag. Wipe the excess oil out of there. Wherever you bought your replacement gear lube from, we'll take your old gear lube. If you bought it from us, you probably don't want to ship your gear lube back to us, your old stuff, but you can take it to your local auto parts store and they'll get rid of it for you. If they won't do it, they'll be able to point you to somebody who can dispose of it in an environmentally friendly way. So, we've done our water pump impeller. We've greased our splines on our shift and our dowels on the drive shaft up the top. We've greased the splines on that. We've changed our gear lube. We've cleaned our pitot tube. This lower unit's ready to go back on. I'll reset the camera here and we'll put the lower unit on.